creation now. I'm very pleased and truly honored to be your host for today's special event. To start off, my name is Gerhard Rehäuser, and today we are incredibly fortunate to have a truly exceptional and remarkable guest with us. Someone who not only, I would genuinely say, lives and breathes their chosen topic, but has also meticulously developed it into a profound passion over many, many decades. We're especially delighted that today's talk or Zoom call is about the magic of the three Bs. I'll have to mix a bit of English and German here. Boost, balance, boost, and that the lovely Audrey Goebel is taking the time this evening because so many people have asked her, can't we do this amazing call again? Her great passion is the topic of holistic health and beauty. Holistic. And these days we hear so much about biohacking, longevity, and the topic of anti-aging. Yes, they've kind of renamed it a bit now, but when we really dive deeper and understand how it works, it's actually not that difficult. You can achieve an incredible amount with it. And Audrey was partly involved in developing all of this, namely the brand Hans und Heidi, which we'll also get to know today and which has gone around the world. That's definitely something to be very, very proud of. And if you're completely new here today, thank you for your trust, and maybe grab a pen as well. Also get a sheet of paper, jot down some notes, and maybe even take a screenshot or two if things get interesting. And as I said, I'm really looking forward to Audrey together with the guests. She is also an elite president at the company Zinzino, where we can actually deliver the products directly to people in 100 countries. And it's definitely going to be a very, very exciting presentation. Dear Audrey, you're just 100 meters away from me as the crow flies.
Neighbors, exactly.
I'm really excited to hand things over to you now. Thank you.
Gerhard, we could even be sitting together for all of this. Yes, really. Exactly. Great. Thank you so much. First of all, a good evening from my side as well, from beautiful Switzerland. A warm welcome. And yes, it's so wonderful that you're taking the time this evening to join us. And yes, many thanks, Gerhard, for your lovely introduction and for supporting me or us here this evening. Okay, the song you just heard, what did you think of it? Thank you very much. Just like the new tantrum, you'll become it. Oh, there's some kind of ad playing in the background. Cough symptoms. We don't need cough symptoms.
I already have an excuse. Someone wasn't muted yet.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, the song, it really was. For me, I find it very inspiring, and I chose it on purpose because it fits the topic so beautifully. Glow up like the sun, new creation, you heard it. And that really describes exactly what today is about. It's about this radiance that doesn't just come from the outside, but also from within. And that's mainly the kind of radiance that comes when your body, skin, and soul are simply in balance. And when you suddenly have more energy again, you know this too, you also have more glow, more vitality inside you, and so on. You end up feeling like a whole new creation. And that's possible because this new creation can begin in each and every one of us. And it's exactly this feeling that I want to share with you today by taking you along on my own little Zinzino. I always call it my glow up journey of the past 3.5 years. And Gerhard introduced it beautifully as well. It's about holistic beauty, beauty from the inside and the outside. And that's a concept that, together with the Zinzino products, has truly changed everything for me. And I call it the magic of the three Bs. They stand for Boost, Balance, Boost. And they haven't just given me, but also my family, greater well-being, more health, more energy, and yes, simply a visibly more radiant skin. And all of this is, of course, measurable, visible, and unfiltered. And for those who know me, many already do, I have been fascinated since I was a little girl by everything related to beauty and health. Maybe you know what I mean. As the years go by, the desire grows to simply preserve that natural beauty, that radiance you have in your younger years. not just covering everything up with makeup, because especially as we get older, less is often more. After all, especially at this stage of life, we want to look truly healthy and fresh. And of course, to radiate that special glow from the inside out. And of course, I mean, we all love a good Insta filter from time to time. Social media offers plenty of those. But at the end of the day, when we look in the mirror in the morning, we all want our skin to look good, even without a filter. And without having to cover things up or pile on a lot of makeup. Healthy, fresh, with a natural glow, just real. And many people rely only on creams or external treatments for that. That definitely helps a little, but at some point you start to wonder, my goodness, there must be so much more possible. Surely it can get even better than this. And that's exactly what I asked myself back then too. What if we could go deeper, strengthen the skin from within, strengthen it holistically and sustainably? And that's exactly what I want to talk to you about tonight. Talk about it and share my own story that I experienced with you. Yes, skincare alone is not enough. We need to look at the whole thing much, much deeper, and for that we have to go inside our bodies. Because the facts are very clear, 97% of people worldwide have an omega-3 deficiency. This means that cell membranes are more rigid rather than flexible. Nutrients have a harder time getting into the cell. Waste products have a harder time getting out. And you notice this not only in your health, but also in your skin. Fact 2, starting at age 25, we lose 1.5% of our collagen every year. And by 50, well, I'm over 50, almost half of it is gone. I've noticed that too because the skin becomes overall thinner, drier, and less elastic. And those first little wrinkles, yes, they're waving at you quite cheerfully. Fact 3, our environment doesn't make things any better. Sugar, sunlight, blue light from mobile devices, air pollution, stress, all of these attack the skin barrier, promote silent inflammation, and accelerate skin aging. And something that a lot of people totally underestimate is the gut. I always thought, my God, I already eat healthily. I eat lots of vegetables, good fats, avocado, my favorite fat. Polyphenols, I drink green tea every morning and really do a lot in that regard. And yes, then I took the test, the gut test, the new one we were just introduced to in Oslo at the convention. Yes, and then 20 days later, I got my results. And then, well, I have to be honest, it didn't really surprise me because it was positive. Yes, 88%, which is actually pretty good, really in the green zone. But there are also markers that can still be optimized. There's still room for improvement. And that was really an aha moment for me when I realized, my God, just eating right, yes, it matters, but it's not enough. And the question is, what actually gets absorbed by the body so that my microbiome can work optimally in order to ultimately reach that 100%, right? Yes. And what's the goal of all this? For me, it's very clear. It's been a long time since it was just about that. You put it so nicely, anti-aging. We talked about that back in the 1990s. Today, people talk about reverse aging. And personally, I don't even like the term anti-aging. It sounds like we have to fight against something. And reverse aging simply means we support our bodies from the inside so that they stay young for longer, stay healthy and remain capable. And in the end, we don't actually want to stop time, even though that would be nice, but simply to regain our balance, to feel good, to bring our inner balance back into balance. What does that mean? Activating and nourishing cells. Cells that are flexible again and simply supple again with supple membranes. These can also absorb nutrients better again. And a gut that not only quietly does its job, but also actively protects. Collagen, elastic fibers that are allowed to regenerate. And of course, a body that doesn't immediately slip into inflammation mode under stress, but remains stable. And that's exactly what my 3 magic bees stand for, which I want to talk about, because they bring back exactly this balance step by step. And you don't just see that in the mirror in your radiance, it's also something you can actually measure and you can feel it throughout your whole body. Yes, and now I'll show you here. This concept, these 3 magic bees at a glance. We have balance from the inside out. You can see it here, our balance oil for healthy, flexible cell membranes. Then we have our synopiotic for our gut, so it works properly. And X10 for daily cellular nutrition and strong immune defenses. These are the capsules. Boost and Build. Next step, that's collagen. That stands for Collagen Boost, for more elasticity, more firmness, and more skin glow. And then we have Boost and Protect from the outside with the Boost Beautifying Cellular Serum from Hans and Heidi. And yes, which I helped develop. It's already been 9 years now, Gerhard. Just think about it. Hans and Heidi have been around for 9 years already. Incredible.
That's right, 9 years. Time really flies.
Doesn't it? Yes, exactly. For me, these three areas simply belong together. They are built on each other synergistically and also work wonderfully in synergy. And they balance, they nourish, they protect, just in a way that no single product could do on its own. And that's exactly why you can see and feel the difference, not just in the mirror, but also in your everyday well-being. Yes, let me quickly take you to my own starting point. 3.5 years ago, my family and I did our first balance test, and we were convinced that everything was fine, at least for me anyway. I was convinced because I had always eaten a lot of fish, always cooked fresh meals, always taken good care of myself with my own skincare line back then. I had been taking supplements for 20 years, always stayed active, exercised regularly, the full program. And then the result came back, 14-1. Wow, I thought, oh dear, that's completely off. I was honestly really shocked, and suddenly a lot of things started to make sense to me. Because at that time, especially in winter for the last 2 or 3 years, I had really, really dry skin. It felt pretty tight. I had never had that before, even with using creams. Collagen loss, yes, I noticed that my skin used to be firmer. And of course, when you hit your early 50s, you really do notice you have less energy. Sometimes I also noticed the joints just weren't as well lubricated anymore. Yeah, and especially a bit in my wrists. And then I always thought, oh God, I eat healthily. My diet should be enough. But then the test showed me that no, it's just not enough. And the interesting thing was, with every test, I could actually see measurable changes in everything. And not just for me, but also for my husband and my boys. They were completely out of balance. And thanks to Zinzino and the balance oil, we're all in the green zone today. Yes, my own journey. 14-1. After a little more than 120 days of balance oil, I got down to 3-1. That's where I ended up. And I didn't just see that on paper, I could really feel it too. I just felt more comfortable. I felt more comfortable in my own skin. I felt more radiant. You could really feel that energy, that boost of energy. Yes, and I often get asked, how can I tell if I have too little omega-3? And actually, the answer is always the same. Don't guess, just test. Don't just believe it, yes, test it. The balance test is actually super easy. A quick finger prick, a few drops on the card. It's wonderful to do from home. You don't have to go anywhere. It's totally uncomplicated. Send it anonymously to the lab, and after 10 to 20 days, you'll have your results online. And the great thing is you can see your omega-6 to 3 ratio there. And 11 different fatty acids are measured. They show how you've actually been eating over the past 120 days. And that's when, at the latest, the truth comes to light. And at that moment, there's no way to sugarcoat anything anymore. What you see there is a fact. And that's exactly when it's time to reinvent yourself. Step by step. And for us as a family, that was truly a game changer. No more guessing, finally knowing where you stand with your health. And now comes the part that many people don't know. In order to be in balance without the right supplementation, we actually have to eat the following every day. At least 3 to 4 large servings of fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, anchovies. And it has to be wild caught, not farmed. At the same time, drastically reduce the omega-6 bombs. These are in fact the vegetable oils. That's fast food, ready-made meals, snacks. Of course, everyone knows that's unhealthy and not nutritious, but sometimes you're just stressed. Many people work and then just reach for quick snacks. That's just how it is because the numbers show it. No one can really manage that in everyday life. That's why 97% in Europe are not in balance. So why the 120 days? Because our cell membranes renew themselves roughly every 120 days. And if during this time you give them high quality omega-3, they gradually come back into balance step by step. And now more than 1.5 million tests at Zinzino show that after 120 days with the balance oil, 95% are back in balance. And you can feel that in almost, you have more energy again, a better glow, smoother skin, and simply fewer irritations, less inflammation. Everything started at home for us with the balance oil. A pure fish oil combined with Spanish olive oil and natural vitamin D3. And it's exactly this combination that truly changes the cell membrane. Of course, there's also a vegan version made from microalgae. Microalgae, and the effect is identical because it's always about the same omega-3s. EPA, I call it EPA, always. The fire extinguisher for silent inflammation, and DHA is the lubricant for flexible cell membranes. And in the end, it doesn't matter whether it's fish or algae, what always matters is the quality. Zinzino works here with small wild fish, the strictest quality standards, and an exceptional Spanish olive oil that is extremely rich in these polyphenols. And it's precisely these polyphenols that protect the omega-3s so they remain active in the body and can actually have an effect. And that's why I immediately decided to go for the upgrade. You can see it here, this black bottle. This is the premium version from Zinzino because it contains even more polyphenols. It also just tastes even fresher and has a delicious citrus flavor. And in fact, it was even awarded the Superior Taste Award in 2025. So that really says it all, because you probably know a lot of omegas, maybe from the past or ones you've taken yourself. Some of them do taste a bit fishy after all. That's not the case here at all. It tastes great. Delicious, pleasantly like orange and lemon, very, very pleasant to drink. And after my first 120 days, my value, as I already mentioned, was at 3-to-1. And I really felt it. I noticed it in my skin. My skin was simply smoother, more elastic, and my focus was suddenly much, much clearer too. And that's exactly what the studies confirm as well when it comes to skin. We have plus 12%. Skin elasticity increases by 12% in 60 days and by 22% in the long term if you continue to supplement, of course, every day. And if we look to the future, it becomes clear the most stable and sustainable source of omega-3 in the coming decades will no longer come from the sea, but from microalgae. That's the advantage. It's clean, it's renewable, and it's independent of fish stocks. And that's exactly the path Zinzino is taking. Zinzino is currently preparing for this fantastic, unique path. That is premium quality today and a sustainable algae solution for tomorrow. And I absolutely love that. I always tell everyone that we are part of this development. I think it's absolutely amazing. And maybe the question now is this: when should I take balance oil, or how should I take it? Balance oil? That's also a question I get asked a lot. Once a day with a meal, preferably with breakfast. I learned that from you, Gerhard. Always take it with a meal, a high-fat meal, so it can be absorbed better. So ideally, right? Personally, I always take it with breakfast because that's when fat absorption is most effective. And if someone doesn't tolerate the oil that well, then just split it into 2 smaller portions. That also works, for example, taking it twice a day. The amount is 0.15 milliliters per kilogram of body weight. For example, for 60 kilos, that's 9 milliliters daily. I always put it into a small glass, add a bit of water, and then the oil goes on top, so right on top of the water. Oil always floats on top of water, and then you can drink it really easily. It's very, very pleasant. Exactly. So now we come to the second major component, which is the gut. And the new Gatters test from Zinzino, as I said, impressed me endlessly, not just me, but actually all the partners who were there. In Oslo, it was incredibly impressive because this test, which you also do at home, is, I would say, an absolute innovation worldwide. because it's not a stool test, but a dried blood test, similar to the balance test. And it's much, much more precise because it really shows how you actually eat and whether you're getting the right mix, the mix your gut needs for a healthy microbiome, the right mix of fiber. And it shows how strong silent inflammations are, how stable your gut barrier is, and how active your microbial immune system is working. So we're not talking about gut feelings here, but about clear numbers. And as I already mentioned, you can see it here. My own score, 88%. That nice green also looks good, but what isn't perfect? Then, as I already mentioned, even though I've been eating very, very, very consciously for years, the test made it clear to me diet alone is not enough. The gut needs the right fermentable fibers in order to produce protective substances. And now I'll quickly show you my 5 main markers, which you can see here, so you get a sense of what this looks like. For example, the gut health index. So it's green up here, 88%. That's the overall score for everything. So overall, my gut is working steadily and quite well. You could say it's pretty strong. Then we have the IPA value. Yes, that's the one on the right. Also quite high at 2.8, also in the green range. Yes, that's the protective substance, my protective substance in the gut. That's a high value, which indicates the strength of the barrier, the gut barrier, and less inflammatory stress. Then we have the next one, microbiome immune support. Moderate, yellow, which isn't quite as good. That shows the ratio between protection between IPA and KYN, kin, yes. And KN stands for stress in the gut. That means I have good protection, a bit of everyday stress, which everyone has. That's completely normal. But yes, there's still room for improvement. Then we have the next one, gut microbiome efficiency, which is also quite high at 5.5 in the green range. That means my gut uses my nutrition very, very efficiently. Then we have the next one, immune stress. Moderate, as indicated by yellow, is of course not ideal, but it's on the right track. That reflects everyday life. For example, it also shows when you travel a lot. It also indicates sleep levels, so just normal everyday strains. Yes, and now the really exciting part, the detailed view with the 3 values right at the bottom here, as you can see. And many people don't even know them. IPA, tryptophan. Is that tryptophan? IPA 2.8, strong protection. That's what it means. Then the KYN 1.83 is the stress marker, which is in the target range, and the tryptophan is 51.1. This is the basis for serotonin, our feel-good and sleep hormone, and as you can see here, my tryptophan level is actually quite good. Perfect, you could say. Why is tryptophan so important? Because the body can't produce tryptophan on its own. And we need it to produce serotonin and later melatonin for mood, for better sleep, and of course also for regeneration. You might be wondering now, where can you find it? Which foods contain it? For example, it's found in eggs, nuts, salmon, legumes, avocado, turkey, and even in dark chocolate, but the 70% kind, with a high cocoa content. By the way, that's actually something I really love to snack on. After lunch, I always have a nice piece of dark chocolate. And I always know that I'm really doing something good for myself. And yes, my tryptophan level is perfect. That means my body has enough building blocks for well-being, for sleep, and for recovery. I always say it like that because at first I could never really remember it well. Yeah, IPA and KYN and all that. How am I supposed to explain that to someone? Yeah, or tryptophan. So that's how I remembered it. Very briefly, IPA stands for protection in the gut. KYN is stress in the gut, and tryptophan stands for well-being. Yes, basically well-being and sleep. That's actually a pretty good way to remember it. Yeah, and in my case, you can see a lot of protection here, moderate stress, and a good well-being system. I can only confirm that because I feel absolutely fantastic in my own skin. Thank God for Zinzino products, yeah. You're allowed to say that, right? Audrey, may I just quickly emphasize something as well? That's a great test you have there, of course. Of course, we also have people here who are at 20 or 30% who have never really paid attention to this and don't take much either. But we also already have people who actually have the full 100%. We've had several of those already. And that really shows that you can make a big difference in this direction. Just wanted to mention that briefly. That's interesting that you say that, because I also asked a couple of people from our crossline, because one or two of them have really high values, even higher ones, even higher than mine, and I thought I was already doing pretty well. But they're already above 90%, sometimes even 95%. And they also shared what they do. Of course, lots of fiber, lots of legumes, lots of green vegetables. They already eat very healthily. But what is a huge factor is exercise and stress reduction. For example, they meditation to wind down. That's also a really, really important one. That means they have very little stress. And when they do experience stress, they always find balance by doing things like yoga or something similar. Not that strenuous kind of exercise that throws us off balance and stresses the body, but if you have a lot of stress, you need to counteract it. And then you need something that helps you calm down again. And that's where yoga or Pilates or something like that is really the perfect complement. Exactly. Yes, thank you very much, Gerhard. That's a really important point. Exactly. Yes, that's why I also started consciously supplementing my diet with Zinobiotic. Zinobiotic is a product from Zinzino, a blend, you could say, of natural fermentable fibers such as inulin, oligofructose, resistant starch, oat fiber, and pectin. And it's exactly these fibers. You have to imagine it's like favorite food for the good gut bacteria, so that the gut gets going again and comes back into balance. And they help exactly here to form the protective substances we need, like the IPA we just saw. And of course, you can also see and measure that later in the markers. And I have to say, since I've been taking Synoviotic regularly, I'll admit I didn't used to take it that consistently, but lately I've been taking it more regularly. So even before the test, I just noticed that my digestion is much calmer and more regular. My stomach feels lighter. I don't have such a bloated stomach anymore, so to speak. My gut flora is more stable now, and of course, does the skin benefit as well? Of course, it also looks much, much smoother and more radiant when you take it regularly. The best part is now you can actually measure everything. I always call it good health, cloth health. Because as I always say, the beauty of the skin comes from the gut. And that's why gut health is also a very, very important product in addition to the balance oil. It's all connected. Maybe just briefly again, when and how much. Once a day, preferably with a meal as well. Many people take it in the morning because it also helps keep blood sugar stable, keeps you full longer, and supports the gut flora throughout the day. And I have to be honest, I never have any problems when I go to the bathroom. I really have to say that honestly, because now I have several people who take the product and say, I can go to the bathroom really well again. Because these gut bacteria are simply supported and activated, and suddenly everything works much better again. And that's what I really like about the Synubiotic. That's why it's also a very, very important component, because many people don't even dare to talk about this issue. The important thing here is just to drink plenty of water, because fiber is, of course, very heavy. So always make sure to drink lots of water so that everything can be flushed out properly. All right, and now let's move on to Extend. For me, these are the capsules I take in addition. It's like I call it the all-in-one package, the bodyguard for more energy, for the immune system, and for the cells. Extendi is a completely natural, highly advanced multi-immune product or supplement. And what do I personally love about it? It works perfectly together with the balance oil and Synubiotic. And it fills exactly the gaps that we can hardly cover through our diet nowadays. It provides 22 essential vitamins and minerals, everything our cells need every day to produce energy, to repair, and simply to stay healthy. Then we have the Immune Blend. It contains beta-glucan, a truly high-level ingredient. In the immune product, it activates our immune system right where it originates, in the gut. And it protects our cells very effectively with many antioxidants, such as lutein, zeaxanthin, and curcumin. A natural shield against oxidative stress as well. Another advantage is that it has been proven to improve bone and joint function. That's also a very, very important aspect. And that's actually kind of the spearhead here in this product because many people have one or another issue with bone and joint problems, and in that regard, it is really very, very effective. Vitamin D, K2, magnesium, manganese, and zinc also work together synergistically here. And you have to imagine it like this. It's as if all the ingredients together are like a repair team for our skeleton, for our mobility. And especially important to me, all these ingredients also come from natural sources. I always pay attention to where they come from. For example, acerola for vitamin C, buckwheat for B vitamins, seawater for magnesium, and so on and so forth. No synthetic vitamins. That's also important to know. No unnecessary fillers here. And you can really feel it when you take it, or rather, when you stop taking it. When you take it, you have more energy, your immune system is stronger, you don't get sick as easily, you don't catch colds as quickly, you have better recovery, more mobility, and simply greater comfort in your joints. And the XTEND, of course, complements it perfectly. The Balance, Oil, and Symbiotic, and these three products together make up our heart protocol. So for more on that, talk to your host. If you want to know even more about it. Yes, bringing fatty acids into balance and strengthening the gut. And XTEND then provides the daily micronutrient foundation, I would say. Yes, that's why XTEND is definitely one of my magic bees. It brings our body closer every day to our strong, best version. 2 to 4 capsules with a meal, ideally also with breakfast or lunch, because that's when the vitamins can be absorbed better with the meal. Now we come to our collagen boost. In November 2024, I then started with Collagen Boost. And it was immediately clear to me that it's much more than just a collagen product. And by the way, it also tastes super delicious. It actually has a delicious cherry flavor. It's liquid, it's kind of jelly-like, and it comes in sachets. Just tear it open at the top and then enjoy. Easy to drink. What's inside? 8 grams of marine collagen types 1 and 2, 120 grams of hyaluronic acid, plus pre- and postbiotics, again for the gut-skin axis. Vitamin C, biotin, ceramides, and other active beauty ingredients. I don't even want to list them all right now. I've told you about the most important ones. Namely, that's the hyaluronic acid and the prebiotic fibers. And honestly, what I really like about it is that it's just ready to go. I've tried so many collagen powders before, but you always have to mix them. Coffee, and that was powder, and it didn't dissolve. It was so difficult, and then the taste often wasn't that pleasant either. And then, as I said, Collagen Boost came along. Super, super tasty, not too sweet, really practical for everyday use. And I already saw the first changes after 10 days because it was advertised as a 10-day course. And of course, I was curious, so I gave it a try. The skin is supposed to visibly change in 10 days thanks to the hyaluronic acid, which actually makes sense in combination. But I didn't really believe it at first. I had to take before and after pictures. So that's what I did, and I took 1 sachet at the beginning. Now I take 2, 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. I don't even have cravings anymore because it's honestly super tasty. It's like a sweet treat. And of course, it has very few calories. 1 sachet has 40 calories and is sweetened with stevia. No artificial sweeteners. That's also important to know because a lot of people always ask about that. And I definitely noticed after 10 days, my skin was smoother, plumper, better hydrated, and had more glow. And yes, I'd really like to show you that. I'll show you in a moment what it looked like for me. Now for something else, yes, so maybe a collagen boost once more daily, preferably in the morning. Also, take it because the body is particularly well prepared in the morning. Collagen is affected, skin and connective tissue, and of course, metabolism in the morning is also more active. Perhaps before training if someone is doing sports. I also read here that this improves the supply of nutrients to the tissue. Exactly, so let's move on. To the products from Hans and Heidi. We've now seen what the Zinzino products do from the inside. And here you can see how we support and complement everything from the outside. Yes, in synergy to achieve natural balance here as well. Yes, in our skin from the inside out and the outside in. And what's important here is that we want to protect our skin from environmental stress. And with Hans and Heidi, the Swiss biotech skincare line based on award-winning plant stem cells, specifically from Edelweiss and snow algae stem cells, and small molecular ingredients, we are able to restore the skin to its natural balance. The routine is super simple. We start with the cleansing foam, which cleanses thoroughly yet gently without drying out the skin. Then we move on to the foam toner, which soothes the skin. It hydrates the skin, and it's basically the perfect prep product for the care that follows. Next, we have the detox mask down here, which I always recommend using right after the foam toner. It detoxifies and purifies. You can use it once or twice a week. And it's basically like a detox or a reset for your pores and your glow. Pores become more refined and the skin is replenished with more moisture. And it looks really fresh and radiant. Then, in step 4, the serum up here and then the eye cream afterwards. Step 4, the serum is the most powerful step because this is where the active ingredients come in highly concentrated. They penetrate deep into the skin. You immediately get that wow effect, that smoothing and firming effect. Then, in the next step, the eye cream, which smooths and firms for a sensitive eye area. It works against puffiness, dark circles, under eyeshadows, all in one, super easy. By the way, men really love this too because they say they often have the same problem. That they notice that they have dark circles and under eye shadows, and they say the eye cream is their favorite. I can immediately see that something is happening, that the eye area looks fresher. Then we have the 24-hour cream. There are 2 different ones for you. Yes, this one is more for normal to combination skin, for skin with larger pores, that simply needs less oil. Then there's the eye rise cream, which is a bit richer. It's richer than the Energize, and it's for dry, demanding skin with more nourishing oils. My personal highlight, I'll say it again, is the Boost Serum from Hans and Heidi. For me, it's the product with instantly visible results for more glow, more smoothness, more radiance. And that's exactly what we're going to take another quick look at now. Because, as I already mentioned, I've been using Hans and Heidi for 8 years now. Yes, over 8 years. But the Boost Serum for me has really, how should I put it, opened up a whole new league because it contains the award-winning active ingredients, snow algae and Edelweiss in the highest concentration. And these protect and support the skin's natural cell renewal. Then we have argireline, which is a peptide that instantly smooths out expression lines. We also have powerful hyaluronic acids in it, different complexes with various molecular sizes, so they really penetrate the skin for intensive, long-lasting moisture. Then we have a very special active ingredient, Swiss ice wine elixir from Switzerland, which is my personal favorite. It provides a gentle lifting effect within minutes. So lines and wrinkles are visibly plumped up, so to speak, thanks to the abundant moisture from this ice wine elixir. The skin immediately looks fresher and smoother. And I have to say, the serum is super lightweight, absorbs quickly, and works perfectly, especially under makeup in the summer. With dry skin, it's always important to apply your day cream on top. It's cleanly formulated, vegan, and sustainable. And now, either new or for some time already, it comes in a lightweight, airless bottle. So it's also ideal for travel because it's simply convenient to take with you. And yes, as I said, it's also just lighter. Yes, I always say the Boost Serum is like the cherry on top of the whole series. It protects, clarifies, and strengthens the skin barrier. It gives your skin an external boost, while collagen, boost, and balance oil and symbiotics work from the inside. So to briefly summarize the 3 essential building blocks once again. Now I just have to check again. I'm missing a slide. I deleted it here. All right. Yeah, somehow it's missing exactly. So you can see my results here again. You see the picture on the left here. That was before I started taking collagen boost. So those 10 days, I want to see where that is. I must have it in here somewhere. I think, right. Here, I have to go back again. Exactly. You can see here, That was before, so I was using balance oil. I had been using Hans and Heidi up to that point, Zinobiotic from time to time, yes, and this was my result here, so my starting point. Then after 10 days of collagen boost, you can already see here that the skin overall looks a bit plumper. Yes, of course, that's also due to the combination, highly concentrated hyaluronic acid and collagen, yes. That means especially under the eye area. And now, after 8 months of balance oil extend symbiotic, more or less. Now I take it more regularly, I would say. And Hans and Heidi, do you see that? That here under the eye area, in comparison as well, the skin overall is plumper. And that's due to the collagen and the hyaluronic acid. It's incredible, and that's why I'm so enthusiastic about the new collagen, especially in combination with balance oil and Hans and Heidi. All right, so now let's get back to the slide, just to recap. So once again, the 3 building blocks: balance from within with balance test, balance oil, supplemented by the gut health test and symbiotic for a strong gut. That's basically the foundation so that cells and the microbiome can work flexibly and healthily again. My personal goal, as I already mentioned, is to go from 88% gut health with symbiotic, now every day, regularly, to move towards 100%. Yes, that's what I'm working on. Then secondly, boost and build with collagen. Boost for your collagen framework from within for smoother, firmer, simply better hydrated skin, and always in synergy with omega-3. Then thirdly, boost and protect with the Boost Serum as a protective shield from the outside, strengthens the skin barrier, provides instant moisture, smooths and protects the skin daily from UV, blue light radiation and environmental stress. And these 3 areas work together like a strong team: balance, building, and protection. And that's exactly it. When we use this regularly, you simply see visible skin improvement. We have more energy, less inflammation, and just a more beautiful radiance. That's what, for me, makes it so special. I'm not just saying this, it's measurable. Simply measurable. And that is a huge, unique selling point here at Zinzino and also for us as partners. And here we see once again our holistic concept: test-based nutrition combined with modern Swiss skincare, which creates an incredible synergy that traditional cosmetics simply cannot offer in this way. This holistic, measurable approach. And especially for everyone working in the fields of health, beauty, or consulting, but also for anyone who simply wants to do something good for themselves, wants to make a change, or is dissatisfied. This truly offers a great opportunity to stand out. With a concept that is visibly effective, measurable, and really easy to understand, it works. And I always say my tip, whether it's for partners or clients, is do it yourself. Your before and after photos, document your journey, compare your before and after pictures. Because when you stand in front of the mirror every morning, you get used to your reflection. You don't notice the difference anymore. That's why it's so important. Yes, I always say documentation beats conversation or discussion. And that always shows real change, greater well-being, and more glow. So, and now comes the moment I'm especially looking forward to. We have 2 women on the call today who have experienced measurable and visible success and are absolutely convinced. Firstly, our love, Andrea Tannenfelser. Hello, Andrea. Nice to have you here. Businesswoman from Grünstadt in the beautiful Palatinate region. She tested Collagen Boost, and even after just 10 days, her skin analysis app showed clear improvements. But I don't want to say too much, Andrea. Maybe you can tell us about your experiences. Let's hear from you.
So I am also, by the way, I'm Andrea Tentenisch. I dropped my double surname Audrey, but it doesn't matter. I've also been with Zinzino for 4 years, and I really take the products regularly. And then after 2 years, I realized when someone approached me while I was standing in front of a picture of myself, and then I was told that I looked much younger. And that was the first time I noticed after 2 years that the products from the health protocol, the balance oil, the symbiotic, and the extent had worked from the inside out. They did something to me. And that was such an aha moment. So I actually took a really close look at the pictures and noticed that my nasolabial fold had become less pronounced. That means I hadn't even noticed it because, as you said earlier, you look in the mirror every day and get used to what you see. And now with the app we're using here, that means you can take these before and after pictures here. And then when the collagen boost came, I thought, okay, will it actually do something again? I just wanted to truly see for myself. And honestly, I hadn't really taken anything at all for a very, very long period of time before that particular moment. I wanted to be a bit neutral about it. So I took the collagen for 10 days. And on the left picture, you see day 1. And on the right picture, you see day 10. And at the top, you can see there's a score. The score actually increased from 6.1 to 7.1. That means 10 is the best possible score. So I had an improvement in my score on a scale of 10. A real improvement in the score. Honestly, that's amazing. And if you look at the picture on the right, you can see that the depth of the wrinkles has become much less. When you see this comparison in front of you, you're immediately convinced. So ever since then, I've been constantly trying it out on myself and always want to see that it works again. And it's just fantastic. Honestly, I love these products. Simply sensational. Yes, people should always know about them.
Yes, thank you, thank you. I find it really fascinating that you can actually measure it like this. And you can also see it here on the right in the picture, the far right picture, the crow's feet. The depth of those crow's feet has been drastically reduced. And that's after just 10 days, I have to add. I think that's incredible. And that's what's special about it, that the products simply work and that their effects can be measured and tested. I find that exciting. Hey, sorry about your name. That's
not a problem at all. I had a double surname for a long time, so that's actually how we know each other.
So thank you very, very much, and I hope you continue to enjoy the products. Thank you for your contribution. Wow, and now next, I'm really looking forward to it. Where is she? Let's welcome dear Alessandra, professional cosmetician from Aschaffhausen. A very good evening to you. You've had very similar experiences, dear Alessandra. And of course with yourself, but also with your clients whom you treat every day, and to whom, of course, you also present the holistic concept, so to speak. Maybe you'd like to share your experiences as well.
Exactly, dear Audrey. Thank you so much for the invitation. Dear Audrey, I always tell my clients that we have to start with the basics, like the foundation of a house. We start from the bottom, and that's how I explain to them that they need to do a test so we can really see what things look like in the blood. And then move on to the gut. And what's really fantastic is I had a young man who didn't believe in it. So I thought, just do it. He had a face full of pimples, so I did this blood test for him. And he was shocked. He had a value of 48 and was only 24 years old. And he just didn't believe me. When I saw that, I asked him, hey, what do you actually eat? What do you drink? Then he told me all the things like cola, chocolate. So he really had a very poor diet. And because of this comprehensive and thorough test, he completely changed his entire approach. We just absolutely couldn't get rid of this persistent and troublesome acne. And after the detailed blood test results came back, he immediately started diligently taking the prescribed oil supplements. He also took the beneficial Zeobiotica, and he consistently used the recommended skincare products as well. And really, after 2 months, everything was gone. So that was very gratifying for me because he hadn't believed in it.
Wow, I mean, for such a young man, that's a whole new quality of life. Yes.
Absolutely.
I want to know what he went through with his skin. Yes.
Because it really hurt. Every time during the treatment, it was really exactly like that. And also with noticeable redness and very dry, irritated skin. That's a truly good combination, if I may offer it in that particular way. Above all, I also have to genuinely say, yes, I personally tested it on myself. And the incredible lightness you distinctly feel when you consistently use these exceptional skincare products, because they're also completely free of parabens, entirely free of microplastics. That's, of course, a truly remarkable.
Really great, especially with the snow algae. And the blue light protection is also incredibly important to me personally because it truly keeps my delicate skin so wonderfully well protected and shielded from environmental aggressors.
Great. Yes. Very, very nice. Yes. Thank you so much. It's wonderful when you can make your customers so happy and also witness such a transformation.
Exactly.
That really is wonderful. It's truly fulfilling. Then you know, okay, you're working with the right products. Yes. Thank you very much, Alessandra. Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Yes, time flies. Maybe just very briefly, what could be better? You've just heard so many positive things about the magic bees. What could be better than giving a gift at Christmas that truly makes sense? I think we all agree. For all of us, it's health, energy, and radiance. Something that lasts, something you can simply see and feel, something that is measurable. And I always say, whether it's for your best friend, your partner, your mom, your grandma, or your grandpa, or simply for yourself, for you personally. To give the gift of balance, that to me is the most important thing, and that's what real care is, truly a gift from the heart. And now I just want to quickly point out again, we're right in the middle of the Black Week offer, and this is exactly the perfect moment to start with this heartfelt gift. What could be better than a meaningful Christmas present like the balance concept with the oils and the test, for example? And we have some really, really great promotions here where you actually get even more. And the principle is actually quite simple. You buy a set or a product and you get more with it. No matter who it's for, even for yourself, you get absolutely top-notch, high-quality health and beauty products as gift sets. On top of that, as I said, there are the free extra products. Please make sure to talk to your host about this afterwards. Or you can also go to the website yourself. There you'll immediately see Black Week. And then you can check it out. For example, Synopiotic is on offer. X10 is also included in the promotion. Balance Oil is part of the offer as well. So basically all the products I've talked about, except for collagen and Hans and Heidi, but everything else is included. And you can really save a lot. Here you can see again very briefly how Black Week works. We have the Balance Oil Start Kit. You buy the set, and in addition, you get 2 large Balance Oil bottles and 2 small ones for free. So you order it and receive the same amount again. All of that for free on top. This is perfect if you want to start with the test. You can immediately provide for someone you know as well. That makes sense because the first thought is, oh, I need to test my loved ones too. That's why it's so important, because the health of our loved ones is close to our hearts. That's why it absolutely makes sense here as well. All right, good. So we're almost at the end now. At the end, I want to share a thought with you that really touched me. I came across this phrase not too long ago. I read it in English, but of course it hits the mark in German too. Health is the canvas on which beauty is painted. Without it, there's nothing to show. And I think you can all agree with me, that's just how it is. The canvas, the radiance, the beauty that comes from within and isn't just covered up with makeup, as I said at the beginning, that's the true radiance. And without it, there's simply nothing to show. So let's find balance together and shine. And now from the bottom of my heart, I just want to wish you a wonderful, magical Christmas season. It's almost that time. The first Advent is just around the corner. May you have lots of love and beautiful, bright moments with your loved ones. Wishing all our partners a fantastic end of the month sprint. This will be a November to remember, that's for sure. A heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you who is part of the Zinzino family. Take care. Take good care of yourselves and of what is our greatest asset, our health. A huge thank you for being here today. And yes, Gerhard has to leave now because he has a call coming up. Many heartfelt thanks, dear Andrea, dear Alessandra, dear Gerhard, once again. Yes, exactly, and see you very soon. It was wonderful to have you all here. Much love. Best wishes to all of you. Bye-bye. Bye. Goodbye. Bye. Goodbye.
Bye.